Hi, my name's Brett Ireland. I help many people each and every week to learn more about first-class accounts. What's interesting is the number of baby boomers I talk to. If you were born before 1965, then the following story may well resonate with you. In my opinion, baby boomers are too easily overlooked by corporate Australia as being too old. They're not ready for full-time retirement. They still have an enormous amount of experience and knowledge to offer, and they need a way of generating an income stream in their latter years. Today, Peter Morgan, our franchisee at Maruka in Brisbane, has been kind enough to share his story with you. So now, I'd like to introduce you to Peter.
Thanks, Brett. Hi, I'm Peter Morgan, and I'm a franchisee with First Class Accounts. In this talk, I want to share with you some of my life history. The reason for doing this is to give you some idea of what the journey from my former career to my current career as a First Class Accounts franchisee has been like, and by doing so, provide some of those of you considering taking up a First Class Accounts franchise some insight into what you might expect. Firstly, some background. I graduated from the University of Queensland as a mechanical engineer in 1979 and then spent the next 30 plus years working in that profession for a number of different employers. For the last 14 years of my engineering career, I had increasingly senior management roles with a company based in Papua New Guinea. However, in 2011, I had to return to Australia and soon found that finding a new role in engineering was not going to be easy. In particular, I was in my mid-50s, and that seemed to place me well outside the age range required to be seriously considered as a prospective employee. Also, my recent and lengthy overseas experience seemed to be a disadvantage rather than an asset, and the manufacturing sector in Australia was at that time, and still is, in serious decline. I luckily secured a job with a recruitment firm which I approached looking for an engineering role, but I knew it wasn't my thing right from the start. Did not particularly enjoy the work, and I was becoming increasingly tired of working for others. So I started seriously considering what else I might do with myself. To cut a long story short, I thought of running a bookkeeping business, since I had had experience as the treasurer of a number of social and sporting clubs throughout my life. I enjoyed that sort of work, and I had the example set by a family member who had been in contract bookkeeping for over 15 years. So that was the course I decided on. My plan was pretty simple. Complete the Certificate 4 course in accounting or bookkeeping and start a business. I completed phase 1, which was getting the Certificate 4 qualification, in June 2013, and then started phase 2, looking for clients. By the time one of my brothers-in-law thankfully found me a 6-month contract back in engineering, I'd secured exactly 0 clients, not one. If I was going to be a bookkeeper and run my own business, I clearly needed something more. It was during that 6-month period that I happened to see a TV advertisement for First Class Accounts, and I realised that taking up a franchise would provide me with the elements that I was lacking as a single operator. Most significant of these being brand credibility and accounts, technical expertise and backup. These things are important to clients. If I put myself in the other person's position, I'd be hesitant to give the responsibility for my accounts to someone who's just jumped across from another career later in life and has no experience in the profession. Contacting a prospective client as Peter Morgan from First Class Accounts is way different from contacting a prospective client as Peter Morgan, sole trader and former engineer with no bookkeeping experience. I've been a First Class Accounts franchisee now since the 12th of May 2014, and I can honestly say that it's been really a rewarding experience. Looking back, the early days were a struggle. Starting up your own business can be quite daunting. It's full of uncertainty. When will I get my first client? When will I get my next client? How many clients do I need to have a successful business? Am I competent enough to keep those clients that have given me a chance to prove myself? How long will the money last if I don't get a client soon? And so on. also, marketing and networking are not natural activities for people like myself, who have a technical background. However, I found working through these things at my age was somewhat invigorating, and it gave me something of a new lease on life. This continues for me now. Since May 2014, my business has grown from just the one client that I started with back then to the point where I'm more or less fully employed and needing to make a decision on whether to look for a partner or hire contract support. More new experiences ahead. I guess running a small business doesn't suit everyone. It does take effort and self-discipline, but the rewards are there for those who can meet the challenges and overcome them. As a baby boomer, I'm in the last stage of my working life, but I now feel that I have some control over my destiny, which I didn't have before. If I don't want to retire, no one can make me. As long as I want to keep working and there are clients out there who want me to help their businesses, I can keep going. And I can vary my workload to suit my life situation. As I get older, I can see myself cutting back to 4 days a week, then 3, and so on, and correspondingly increasing the number of golf days a week from 1 to 2 to 3, and so on. That's my story. Thank you for listening and making it all the way to here. I hope that this story has been of some interest and help to you as you consider what you might do with the rest of your working life.
Thanks very much, Peter. Your time is much appreciated. And folks, if you can relate to Peter's story, have a passion for figures and a desire to use your knowledge and experience to help small to medium businesses, then the First Class Accounts opportunity may well be for you. I'd appreciate the opportunity to help you learn more about First Class Accounts so you can determine whether this is the right opportunity for you. You can contact me on either of the numbers currently on your screen. But for now, thank you for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.